Alright, I think we're on match 4. Yeah, match 4. We're 2-1, you know, hey, we lost the first match, but, you know, getting a 4-1 would be something I can't complain about. Of course, being so close to being the trophy leader, and I guess I am technically at the top of the leaderboard currently, although I'm in a 4-way tie for the first place, definitely makes you know, having less than a 5-0 a little less it takes a little of the luster away from things that are less than 5-0s, but you know, I can't. I think one of the best tricks to getting 5-0s is to try to not obsess over it. Actually, it's usually when I get a 5-0, it's usually after I've jammed a bit and I'm actually kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm not really gonna like. Maybe my days of racking up tons of 5-0s are coming to an end. I mean, you know, can't count on this lasting forever. Like usually it's kind of right when I sort of settle in, I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna enjoy one more game, and it's like boom. Usually that I get the 5-0, you know. So yeah, so we did keep. Again, I usually err on the side of marginal keeps. One thing I really like about this deck though is because almost the entire deck is 1-drops. It's actually, you know, even though it's weird, this deck is mana hungry, but it can also function on few lands, you know, surprisingly well. Oh, well, I don't know how to explain it. Like, this deck can and does function off of even one land. I mean, when I say function, I mean function. I don't mean it does well, but you know, I think it can at least kind of hold the fort. But the main reason, of course, we are keeping is we've got the possibility of turn 2 light up the stage. And is Shadow so prevalent that I miss a turn 1 attack? I don't think so, but man, you know, there's so many Shadow decks out there right now, I almost wonder if we're getting to the point where it's correct to play a Swift Spear on turn 1, but not shove with it. And of course, you know, see if we're against like Burn, for example, then obviously we gotta shove any chance we get. Sorry, 1 second, just Alright, we got some new Zendikar Mountain Art. This one seems a little less colorful. It's not exactly as much my style. Oopsie. Serves me right for checking my text, but you know, it kind of looks like this might be a Shadow deck anyway. So you know, I don't think actually I should have. Could be Burn though. That's the problem. But most Burn decks don't seem to play Luris anymore. I guess we'll see. Yeah, it's most likely Shadow. So it was correct to not shove. I'm surprised. I don't know, get why I didn't see Luris in the beginning. It's weird. All right. Well, hey, now we're trying to put our money where our mouth is, and show if we can function off of one land. But I mean, if there is a deck that can function off of one land, or I should say, like, where sitting around on one land isn't as much of a problem as this deck, because really we don't really want to be jamming a lot anyway. Although I definitely want to slam the Seasoned Pyromancer the first chance I get. That's for sure. I think it's important enough to keep them off Scourge that I think I want to bolt. On the other hand, if they have mutagenic growth, that's just such a blowout. So I think I'm going to take. I think being at 19 is okay. Hopefully they don't have double mutagenic growth. And definitely, if they mutagenic growth, I have to go for it, and I think they know that. So if they got 2 mutagenic growths, they just got me. Got me good. I can't next level them and like not Firebolt. I mean, not Lightning Bolt. So. I mean, yeah, where that now they can technically play Scourge, but I think the possibility of a blowout with mutagenic growth, or even that for that matter, double lightning bolt or something, is just a little too large. Okay, so I do think I want a lightning bolt in a turn though, just because if they do have mutagenic growth, I want to be able to flame slash on my turn, and they do. So you know, that wasn't me being psychic or anything. That was just me just trying to think of worst case scenarios. You know, I'm gonna Bone Crusher. If they got another mutagenic, then good game, dear person. But this time yeah, because it's just a better use of my mana. Because I don't like flame slashing, because flame slashing is not an efficient use of mana, because I can't really flame slash as an instant on their turn. And here I'm gonna want to probably use both flame slashes to deal with both of these creatures. So that is why I sequenced the way I did. Yeah, I think I just got to clear them. And I'm going to go after Lurrus first, and the reason being is if they got mutagenic growth, I want to use my second Flame Slash on the Lurrus, although I guess it would have to be double mutagenic growth. But anyway. Yeah, who said Flame Slash isn't good, or doesn't have its uses? Hopefully no Death Shadow. I actually think Death Shadow is still better than Scourge. Just because I think having to be concerned about your own life total as opposed to the opponent's is I think worth. Oh, Boomak Courier. Well, I guess some people maybe got inspired by me trying that out. Oi, see, this is exactly why we want to keep them off of 20 life. I mean, we want to stay at 20 life as much as possible. Almost not worth it to show Lava Dart. Man, the frustrating thing is we have to deal with Lurrus because it gains some life. And Scourge would still be quite large even with that. I think Boomak Courier makes a lot of sense in this deck, actually. You know? Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to die next turn anyway. We are going to, I don't know, hope to draw somehow we need to draw 2 mountains, and we need to draw 2 lightning bolts. Didn't happen. I mean, there was maybe reason to not show the opponent the rest of the deck, but well, anyway, well, we did, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us. Extra plan. I think this is another person near the top of the leaderboard there. Yep. Well, so let's see. I think we've got as good of a chance as any, though. And I do want to bring in Relic, because it does seem like they are a little bit heavier on the graveyard interaction than the last deck we played. And they're also a bit heavier on creatures, especially with Bomat. Of course, Lava Dart is very good against Bomat, but I think the fact that they're a little heavier on creatures, period, makes me want to lean on Flame Slash, just to deal with more creatures that they can present. And you know what? Blister Coil Weird is nice, but I think I am going to play Relic instead, because we're actually kind of the control deck in this deck. I don't even know if these guys play Death Shadow. They might just play Scourge. I can see how in a lot of spots Scourge might be better than Death Shadow, but I think in general Death Shadow is actually better, just because it's actually cheaper, and and you only have to keep track of one player's life total instead of both. It seems trivial, because all you have to do is reduce the opponent's life total by a little bit, and then Scourge can kind of you know, turn itself on, so to speak. Yeah, and I'll keep. And definitely this is better off as a mountain than as a Horizon land here, for sure. So we are leading off of Soulscar. Being able to turn on turn 2 late up the stage is pretty good. Also, don't forget, last game we kept a 1-lander. It didn't pan out. Every once in a while, we'll catch an opponent on a 1-lander. You can't always keep mulliganing to 5 or to 4, and sometimes you keep hitting those. It doesn't seem like we run into that too much, but it does happen. Okay, that's odd. Just gonna jam Relic. I don't wanna, you know. I don't think they're on Gurmag Angler. But then again, I also don't think they're on Scavenging Ooze, so I don't think there's much reason. But actually, one reason to hold this is just it makes their whatchamacallit. I mean, this could be a blowout, but considering it's already going to be doing more than 1 damage, yeah, I'll just Lightning Bolt. One advantage to holding up Relic as opposed to just firing it off right away is at least if you got 1 mana untapped, it might make casting Cling to Dust a little bit more tricky. They may not want to expose it to. They may not want to not be able to draw a card, you know. And ideally, they want to play it on your graveyard because they want their graveyard to be full to take advantage of escaping it. So that's a reason to hold off on Relic instead of playing it right away. Well, you know, sitting around not really doing anything. But the good news is these 3 Flame Slashes should hopefully do a pretty good job holding the ground. And once they play Lurrus, I do think we will be cracking. So to keep them off a Bauble or anything really, which is unfortunate because next turn, I mean, you know, like we would ideally want to put Obosh in our hands, but I think it's worth. I also like the idea of holding on to Relic instead of just cracking right there, just because the opponent would ideally like to set up for playing Lurrus, and so the longer Relic sits around, the more it can clear the graveyard without even having to crack. In general, I don't think this is the wrong approach. There might be some situations where I get punished for it, but in general, my approach to this, to basically all Shadow matchups, is patience. I do think we have a stronger late game, so I kind of like forcing them to take action. Yeah, and unfortunately, the Shadow is pretty big. And thankfully they don't have blue, so they can't Stubborn Denial. And double Flame Slash should be enough to deal with this, unless they have, I don't know. And this is actually where Relic really helps, being able to keep them off of getting Shadow back with Lurrus. It's actually pretty big. I think all we need to do is draw 1 Seasoned Pyromancer, and we're in okay shape. There's a lightning bolt to my face, I wonder. I think, this could be wrong, but I think I'm going to crack. Oh no, I don't need to crack. This is so bad from the opponent. I almost forgot, like, yeah, I can just remove this. One reason I hold Relic up, but like, I didn't think they'd actually just play right into that. Now, I could crack now to prevent them from escaping, but the thing is I could also just crack in response to them escaping, and sure, they've got the Cling in their graveyard, but then they wasted 4 mana and didn't do it, and didn't draw a card or anything. So, I still think holding on to this is where it's at. It also turns off their Unearths, which is a sorcery, thankfully. Academ's Awakening. The black land. Let's see, return X card. Ooh. Okay, well, I think this is where I crack. I think I've got anything of value here. Yeah, I'll crack. Just keeping them off a card seems good. And there's the Seasoned Pyromancer we were hoping for. And I am just going to play it just because it's too big of a beating if they cause it to be discarded. And there's the Relic. Unfortunately, this means that I don't have an immediate answer to Lurrus, but yeah, and I just took it out right there. I know, like, I'm not playing around another Cling to Dust as well, but I think just getting that one done with is worth it. And I'll probably still crack if they play another one. I don't know, though. It's kind of hard to say. Alright, so they did play Lurrus, but the good news is they're not really getting any value off of it. I don't see any reason to crack Relic. Oh, and there you go. So I will. Why? What's going on here? Getting some lag. Okay. And I think I will attack, and the reason here... Oh, and I'll definitely take this opportunity to just Relic, just because, you know, Unearthing is just so good on Luris. I don't think they really have many face creatures, and besides, I'm planning to play the Bone Crusher. Alright, great. Works for me. Still got the 2 tokens. But at this point, Shadow is pretty menacing anyway, and like I explained in my last game, when they're this low, I think my odds are better. I think I'm going to win more games burning them out from this life total than I am going to be losing them from Shadow being a bit too big to handle. I think I'm going to go for the Season Pyromancer flashback instead of Obosh. Ooh. Never mind. I think... but I don't really know what cutting them off of 2 black does now. I don't see Kroxa. I've already used their Luris. Well, let's attack first and see what happens. That's a good spot if I've ever seen one. Having a season... You know what? I'm going to play. This also protects me from discards, sort of. I mean, not really, because I have to play Obosh. But, yeah, I mean, even if they play Luris, flashing back Seal of Fire is not the most menacing thing. Yeah, this is not exactly the plan with Blood Moon. It's probably not even doing anything. This game might even be better off to just hold it in hand to get another token off of Season Pyro if drop. But they do have white. There is clearly something that they're playing white for. So, you know, hopefully that at least is something. So this way we're insulated against discard. That was actually 100% not correct sequencing. I should have played Obosh first. I don't know why they do this, but every once in a blue moon, somebody will have Kolaghan's Command and not play it on upkeep, like where they could have snagged the Obosh for sure, or like when they could have. You know, I don't know. Anyway, very unlikely to be a problem. But well, this does make it a little harder for them to play Dismember, so there is that. Pretty sure this is Dismember on Obosh. It's got to be. They have to take 2 more damage. Well, I think this is making it so that the Season Pyromancer tokens have a very good shot at getting there, so there is that. Yeah, this build, actually, having a companion and having Season Pyromancer might actually be better than Ratchet Bomb, you know? And a lot of this might be because of the Blood Moon tech that I discovered, although here, obviously, the Blood Moons are not necessarily... We didn't necessarily see them really do much, but I still stand by the philosophy, and I think we saw the overall sideboarding strategy this game play out pretty well. We got the Relics, we got the Blood Moons. Yeah. Maybe it's correct, actually, to play Relics even against that last matchup. I do think they generally play Unearth. Unearth is one of these cards I keep forgetting about, but it's good. It's good, it's playable. They usually don't play a lot of copies, but it's very backbreaking if they get it off. So... yeah. Another 1-lander, this time no light up the stage, but 2 Relics, Blood Moon. I'm on the draw, so it increases the likelihood of me drawing more cards. Ooh, you know, we got punished in game 1 for keeping a hand like this, but you know, this is kind of an attrition matchup of sorts. It is an attrition matchup I believe we're favored in, but I just feel like... what exactly are we hoping to get with a 6-card hand? Are we hoping to get, like, 3 lands? You know, I don't know. I mean, we got Season Pyromancer too. The thing, at the end of the day, we've got the cards we need to win this matchup. All we need to do is draw lands, which, you know, sometimes doesn't happen. But, you know, realistically, if we had a hand with lands and no Season Pyromancer, I think we could also lose the game by not drawing Season Pyromancer. That happens sometimes, you know, which is very important in this matchup. So important that, you know, I think it's worth keeping this, because all we really need, I think, are lands, and then I think the deck has what it takes to win, or this hand has what it takes to win. All you need is land. Alright, I would take a relic if I was the opponent, but we'll see. The thing is, these relics help me cycle into more lands. It could take Season Pyromancer though, because we'll see. Blood Moon definitely does stuff. Then again, they are playing a third color though. Well, I'm going to set up for a turn 2. Let up the stage, change of plans. Normally, Relic would have been better there, but... And no, I'm not going to attack. I think it's also correct if they play a Monastery Swiftspear to just block. Sometimes they don't have a good way to pump it. And if they waste a Mutagenic Growth, I think I'm fine with that. Well, hopefully they either let this through, or they have to crack the Marsh Flash, which they definitely should do on their turn. Especially since they do play Prowess themselves, but they don't play Light Up the Stage, so I don't know if they're super familiar with how to correctly sequence in the Prowess E matchups. And I think this is going to be a Fatal Push, yep. Alright, it's not the end of the world. Yet, at least. And we'll hold up the Relic again. You just never know if they go cling to dust on my Blood Moon. Although I have to imagine they learned their lesson last game. Apparently not. I don't... am I missing something? I mean, this is another trophy leader, so I'm a little surprised. We'll see. And I think just cracking here is pretty good EV. Realistically, I want to draw lands, ideally. Well, I mean, I did draw another land. 2 relics. The engineered explosives, that could be a problem. Yeah, I'm just going to crack. That's what gets their cling out of their graveyard. Hopefully we draw a mountain and we can jam a relic. We shall see. Well, alright. These Forgotten Caves are, one way you can think of them is you can think of them kind of like Crash Throughs that don't give Trample and don't give you Prowess bonus, which I know sounds bad. But on the other hand, they can be played as a land, which is huge. Ouch. Well, if I draw a land, I can, yeah, I think I'm in okay shape. Could just take the opportunity to deal with this, but the problem is they got Luris. But if I Flame Slash and they don't have an easy way to deal with it, I could have it under control with Relic. I think I have to take my chances where I can, but then again, I could also just jam Season Pyro. But what am I going to discard? All of this is gas. Alright, this could be a mistake, but let's see what happens when we Flame Slash. Worst case scenario is they Lightning Bolt themselves. Or Mutagenic Growth. There's a lot that can go wrong here. But I think the upside's enough. I think the Season Pyromancer was a good play too. So it's... I know, but the problem is we would have had to have basically discarded, I think, the Firebolt and the Flame Slash. I can't see myself discarding to light up the stages, although that might be correct. Just tricky. Definitely glad I left in Flame Slash. It's good to have the option, but maybe we were tempted into the wrong play. I mean, it's got to... maybe it's Lightning Bolt, because I have to imagine if it's Mutagenic Growth, this would be the easiest slam ever. But we shall see. Okay, excellent. This is exactly where we wanted to be. Because, yeah, this way if they try to bring it back, we can crack Relic. I would have played Firebolt, even if they did have some way to pump it a bit. Just because, I mean, it still would only be at 2. Actually, maybe not, because then it would have been Cold Dolores, so... let's just say I'm glad they did not have... Yeah. So I'm glad they did not have, Mutagenic Growth. Get rid of Shadow while I can. And now it might be correct to jam Season Pyro. But that would suck, though, if... Or it would be correct to jam Light Up the Stage. Tough call. Yeah, I'm going to play Soul Scar and Firebolt. I will probably block the Swift Spear. Man, that definitely makes me kind of regret not playing Season Pyromancer if that's the line I take. But there isn't necessarily a lot of cards they can play other than Cling to Dust, though, that really punish me that much for blocking. Because think about it, if they have Lightning Bolt, sure, they do 1 extra damage by Lightning Bolting my face instead of the Soul Scar itself and clearing the path, but it's only a difference of 1 life. Actually, now that I think about it, do I even... Yeah, because I'll just replay the... I was thinking for a second if there's some merit to going after the Soul Scar, but, you know, again, they would just replay it. Could have been a mistake not cracking Relic in a turn, but I kind of like the way that now I've got bringing the Lurrus back under control. Well, hopefully they don't have Scourge, because we left ourselves wide open to that. Okay, it doesn't look like... Okay, to crack or not to crack, and I think with Firebolt in the yard, I think worth it not to crack. Again, I think Blood Moon right when it outlives its usefulness, although we do see what they use the white for, but I don't think I can take too many more hits, though. That is the problem. Having blockers would be nice. Drawing lands would be nice. Also, Path is actually kind of good for us. Kind of tempted to just jam Light Up the Stage and see what happens, but no, you know, I think gaining blockers is worth it to ditch the Light Up the Stage in a Blood Moon. And I'm more comfortable with this than ditching those 2 burn spells last turn. So you know what? We are going to take this opportunity. This completely insulates us from hand disruption, assuming they don't have a way to kill the Swift Spear. I really like the way this turned out. Hopefully it won't hit 2 lands, but the good news is even if we do, we probably couldn't have made use of both of them anyway. Not bad. I'll wait just in case they've got a end of turn Cling to Dust they want to play. I still just don't get why the opponent plays right into my Relic with the Cling to Dust, but especially since my opponent might be playing for another trophy and I'm not. I think this is concession lag. Well, alright, well, cool match. A little disappointed from a fellow trophy leader here. No offense, but maybe you didn't have your morning coffee. It happens. Alright, well, good games, and interesting Mardu, Death Shadow, light white splash, apparently. Alrighty.